welcome back to another Producer's Approach video. In this video, we're going to be looking at Michael Jackson's song, Human Nature, but the Makoto and Specialist remix, which was a 2020 remaster. And I was introduced to this remix by a friend of mine, we'll call him B Campos, when I was visiting some old friends earlier this year from when I'm recording this video. And one of my friends I hadn't seen in a while showed me this song because he knew that we were both into kind of liquid drum and bass. And I really thought this remix was catchy. Like, Human Nature by Michael Jackson is a very famous song, but he was a really big fan of Makoto, which I had not heard of Makoto, but his stuff seemed pretty similar to a lot of stuff on Liquicity, which is the liquid drum and bass, I want to say, label, if not promotion company as well. So this is a song that's been catchy and I wanted to do a video on the song. So anyways, let's keep going. All right, so I'm going to stop it there because it continues. There's no real break section, but I do like how this song is very relaxing. And that's what I like about liquid drum and bass. And that's what my friend and I like about liquid drum and bass. And when he played this song in his car for me, man, like, I don't know, maybe his car had a better sound system. Like the bass is booming. Like it was a vibe, man. Like I can't even describe what it was like, but this song was just so good, so catchy. And you don't hear a lot of good remixes all the time from very popular songs, especially in liquid drum and bass. You have to pull it off correctly when you do liquid drum and bass because it's so minimal. But the focus of liquid drum and bass is the percussion, the vocal samples, and the bass line. So Makoto so far and specialists have done it correctly where the percussion's very much similar to a liquid drum and bass song, very clean. The vocal samples are very clean. There's a good amount of effects on them, and they're not utilized in full phrases. It's more like sampled style of the vocals, and the bass line is really clean, and overall the mix is very clean. With liquid drum and bass, I feel like the mix has to be very clean. A lot of the sounds have to be very pronounced because there's not as much going on. So when you add like a arpeggiator or a sound in the background, like there is at certain parts of the song, it's very clean, it's very apparent, and you notice it more because it's more of a droning beat, I almost want to call it, where it's just a standard beat kind of throughout. Certain things change here and there. So when the things do change and it's not so many layers of sounds together, it's more noticeable. And that kind of makes or breaks, at least for me, a liquid drum and bass song. That's just in my opinion. So anyways, we'll continue the song. All right, so that is Human Nature, Makoto, and Specialist's remix. I stopped it here because the percussion is going to keep going. So I think you kind of get the gist of how this song outros. But what I did find interesting is I stopped before the break section. I kind of forgot there was a break section within the song. It was a lot longer than I thought it was going to be in terms of before getting to the break section. Normally it's in the middle of the song. So structure wise, that's a little bit interesting for a song, but this is liquid drum and bass. So the beats do kind of drone on for quite a long time. One thing I will say with liquid drum and bass is the percussion. The way the percussion is, I can tell straight away it's like a liquid drum and bass song. There's something about that percussion that's really great. And from my personal experience, when I made a kind of melodic liquid drum and bass song myself, that was the sound I was shooting for, was that polyrhythm, hi-hat, percussion in the song, throughout the song, but mainly in the beginning. Like once you hear that percussion like loop, you kind of know it's going to be a liquid drum and bass song. So that's something I noticed just from kind of a producer's standpoint. But what I also did notice is when the bass cut out for a section before, right after the break section, before the bass comes back in the chorus, before it outros, you do hear the guitars pluck and a little synth playing in the background. I think the synth playing in the background is one of those things I didn't even notice with the bass playing, because the bass is kind of the main focus, but it's an added sound in the background that is much needed to build the ambience or space of the song for that dreamy effect. So overall, really like the guitars, really like the use of the vocal samples, really like the clean production of this remix. Makoto, from what my friend said, has really clean remixes for liquid drum and bass, and he's right. This remix stuck pretty well with me, and just brings me back to the time where I was vibing in my friend's car when he was showing me this song. So overall, I give this song, honestly, I'll give it a solid 10 out of 10, just because of the memories I have attached to the song and just how clean this mix is. Like Makoto, I had not heard of until that time period of the beginning of this year, and now I've heard of him, and his mixes are so clean. So overall, I hope you guys like this video, and I'll see you guys in the next A Producers Approach video. Have a good one, everyone. Peace.